Chapter 1, The Sky That Broke. Part 1. I've been in bad situations before. Burning vehicles. Explosions too close for comfort. Nights where the only thing keeping me alive was a wrench, duct tape, and pure stubbornness. But nothing, prepared me for the moment the world went silent. Not quiet, silent, the kind of silence that feels like someone pressed a cosmic mute button. No wind, no insects, no distant hum of the highway. Just nothing. A vacuum where sound should be. I froze with my hands inside the engine of a transport truck, the metal still warm under my fingers. My brain tried to make sense of it, but the silence pressed in on me like a weight. "Hello?" I said, because apparently my survival instincts include talking to empty air. My voice sounded wrong, too loud, too sharp, like it didn't belong in the world anymore. Then I saw it. A sphere of distortion hovered above the asphalt 20 feet away. It wasn't glowing, not exactly. It was bending the air around it, warping it like heat over a desert road. Colors flickered across its surface, colors I didn't have names for. Colors that made my eyes ache. I took a step back. Nope, absolutely not. I'm not dealing with alien crap today. The sphere pulsed. The wrench slipped from my fingers. A shockwave slammed into me, and for a split second, I felt myself come apart. Not metaphorically, literally, like every atom in my body was being pulled apart, examined, and shoved back together in the wrong order. I tried to scream, but the sound never left my throat. The world shattered, and then it rebuilt itself. I hit the ground hard enough to knock the air out of my lungs. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't on the highway anymore. I was lying in a field of glowing blue grass. Each blade pulsed faintly, like it had a heartbeat. The sky above me was too big, too bright, and wrong in ways I couldn't immediately process. 3 moons hung overhead, one white, one deep red, and one cracked down the middle like a broken marble. I sat up slowly, every muscle trembling. What? Where? A soft chime echoed in the air. I flinched. A glowing interface flickered into existence in front of me, translucent and hovering like a hologram. Code. Chrono Core initialized. Status. Temporal displacement confirmed. Level 0. Primary skill. Repair, basic, secondary skill. Endure, basic warning, biological integrity compromised. Healing requires chrono energy. I stared at it. Okay, either I'm dead, dreaming, or someone slipped something into my coffee. The interface didn't respond. It just hovered there, waiting. I pushed myself to my feet, legs shaking. The ground vibrated faintly beneath me, like a distant drumbeat. The air tasted metallic, sharp on my tongue. Strange trees rose in the distance, tall, spiraling things with leaves that shimmered like glass. A low rumble rolled across the landscape. I turned slowly. Something massive moved between the trees. I couldn't see it clearly, just the outline, the shifting shadow, the way the foliage bent and snapped as it passed. Whatever it was big. Bigger than anything that should exist. The interface chimed again. Code. Warning. Apex predator detected. Recommendation. Run. I stared at the glowing text. Run? Run where? The ground shook. The creature roared, a deep, ancient sound that vibrated through my bones. I didn't wait for a second recommendation. I ran. Branches whipped at my arms as I sprinted through the glowing grass. My lungs burned, my legs screamed, but I didn't stop. The roar echoed again, closer this time. Too close. I stumbled over a root, hit the ground hard, and rolled behind a fallen log. My breath came in ragged gasps. I pressed a hand to my chest, trying to quiet the pounding of my heart. The forest fell silent again. Not natural silence. Predator silence. I swallowed hard. Okay, Jax. Think. You've survived worse. Afghanistan. That time the Humvee caught fire. Thanksgiving with your ex's family. You can handle this. A branch snapped nearby. I froze. The creature's shadow passed over me, massive, hulking, wrong. It flickered, like it existed in 2 places at once. A clawed foot stepped inches from my hiding spot, sinking into the glowing soil. I held my breath. The creature sniffed the air. Then, slowly, it moved on. I didn't move until the forest sounds returned, faint, hesitant, like the world was exhaling again. I crawled out from behind a log, shaking. Okay, I whispered. New world, new rules, no backup, no tools, and something wants to eat me. I looked up at the 3 moons. Fine, let's fix this. The interface chimed softly, as if approving. I walked for what felt like hours, though the sky didn't change. The moons hung in the same positions, unmoving. Time felt wrong, sluggish, like the world was stuck between seconds. I found a small clearing with a pool of shimmering water. It glowed faintly, swirling with colors that reminded me of the distortion sphere. I knelt beside it. Please don't be acid. I dipped a finger in. Warm, soft, almost alive. The interface flickered. Code. Chrono energy source detected. Would you like to absorb? I hesitated. Last time I touched something weird, I got teleported. But sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I placed my hand in the pool. A surge of warmth shot up my arm, spreading through my chest. My injuries, scrapes, bruises, the ache in my ribs, faded slightly. Not fully healed, but better. The interface updated. Code. Chrono energy. Plus 12. Healing efficiency. 8%. I exhaled shakily. Okay, that's actually helpful. I cupped more water, letting it soak into my skin. The warmth spread again, soothing but draining. Like the energy was healing me at the cost of something deeper. Fatigue, maybe. Or willpower. I pulled my hand back. All right, enough spa day. I need shelter. I scanned the area. The trees were too thin to climb. The ground too exposed, but a rocky outcrop nearby looked promising. I approached cautiously. The rocks formed a natural alcove, sheltered from wind and hidden from view. I gathered fallen branches, leaves, and vines, building a crude barrier. It wasn't much, but it was something. As I worked, the interface chimed again. Code. Skill increased. Repair, basic, right-pointing arrow repair, level 1. I snorted. Great. I can fix sticks now. I sat inside the alcove, knees pulled to my chest. Exhaustion settled over me like a heavy blanket. My mind raced with questions I couldn't answer. Where was I? Why was I here? Was anyone else pulled through? Was there a way back? I closed my eyes. The ground pulsed beneath me, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. I opened my eyes again. The world wasn't just alive. It was watching me. I didn't sleep long. A distant howl jolted me awake. The sky hadn't changed. The moons still hung in the same positions. Time still felt wrong. I crawled out of the alcove, stretching stiff muscles. All right, day 2, or hour 2, or whatever. I scanned the forest. Something glinted in the distance. Metal. I approached cautiously, pushing aside glowing ferns. The object was half buried in the soil, a piece of armor, medieval in design, but fused with something futuristic. Wires snaked through the metal, pulsing faintly. I touched it. A vision slammed into me. A battlefield, warriors from different eras clashing. Creatures tearing through soldiers. A sky cracking open. A voice whispering, "The resets are coming." I stumbled back, gasping. What the hell was that? The interface flickered violently. Code. Chrono Sense unlocked. Skill. Chrono Sense, basic. I rubbed my temples. Great. Now I'm psychic. I pocketed the metal shard and kept moving. The forest thinned, opening into a wide plain. Strange creatures grazed in the distance, deer-like, but with crystalline antlers that refracted light into rainbows. A flock of bird things soared overhead, wings leaving trails of shimmering dust. It was beautiful, terrifying, but beautiful. I took a deep breath. Okay, new world, new rules. Let's figure this out. The ground pulsed again. A distant roar echoed, and somewhere far away, the sky cracked, just a hairline fracture, but enough to send a ripple through the air. I squared my shoulders. Fine, bring it on. The interface chimed softly, and the world shifted.